Are your stacks about as fat as the average catwalk model? Do you not even have enough money to let it drizzle, let alone make it rain? Well, no fear, even if you are pretty much skinty stony broke, you can still probably afford a semi-decent smartphone here in 2019. I've reviewed loads of mobiles recently that cost under £200 or $200 if you live stateside, and quite a few of them pack decent performance, solid battery life, and respectable camera tech. So here's my full roundup of the best sub £200 budget smartphones that you could buy right now in 2019. And don't forget, for more on the latest and greatest mobile tech, to poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Moto G7 Power. One of our absolute favourites when it comes to affordable handsets right now is Motorola's Moto G7 Power. This mobile's main selling point is its frankly insane 5000 mAh battery, which means it comfortably beats even premium price flagships for longevity. But the Power isn't just a one-trick pony. You also get a punchy 6.2-inch HD Plus display, as well as a nice slice of stock Android Pie and some bonus motor bits that are proper good, all wrapped up in a pretty durable polymer glass frame, which can be snaffled in a couple of different colours. The 12-megapixel camera does struggle in low light admittedly, and with HDR scenes as well, but that's pretty typical for this price bracket. And to be fair, you do get the option to shoot 4K resolution videos, while Motorola's also added in a bunch of decent camera modes like this funky spot colour effort. Nice. You can grab the Moto G7 Power here in the UK for £179 from March the 15th, and if your fancy has been tickled, then check out my full review here on TechSpert. Also, a big shout out to the Moto E5 and E5 Plus, which are even more affordable at £120 and £150 respectively. These more compact mobiles still boast that HD Plus display tech and cope well with everyday existence. And you can check out my full comparison on this channel to see how they stack up for specs and the rest. Sony Xperia L3. Another cheapy blower that launched early 2019 is Sony's Xperia L3, which at £169 is pretty stunning value for money. The L3 is a big step up from last year's L2, showing off some impressively smooth performance for a budget handset. Sure, it's a Mediatek chipset stuffed inside, but that's backed by 3GB of RAM and it copes well enough with apps, media streaming, and even some light gaming. That 13-megapixel rear camera is bolstered by a basic depth sensor for capturing accurate bokeh shots, while you also have an 8-megapixel selfie snapper to grab shots of that pretty face of yours. And you can snap away all day thanks to the 3300 mAh battery, which sports Sony's adaptive charging tech to help prevent long-term damage. Sadly, it is the older Android Oreo on board rather than the latest tasty Pie, so the Xperia L3 isn't fully up to date. And the Xperia L3 also lacks that super tall 21:9 aspect ratio of the rest of Sony's new smartphones. Though we still really like that relatively compact design, especially Sony's effective edge-mounted fingerprint sensor and that Gorilla Glass finish, which helps to keep the screen in tip-top shape. No complaints with the punchy IPS display either, which pumps out crisp, colourful visuals. Nokia 6.1. Also known as the new Nokia 6 and the Nokia 6 2018, just to confuse matters, the Nokia 6.1 can be bagged for under 200 smackers these days from the likes of Amazon and Carphone Warehouse. And like the Moto G7 Power before it, you get a wonderfully untampered version of Android Pie slapped on there. The everyday experience is quite slick, with Qualcomm's Snapdragon 630 chipset running the show, backed by 3GB of RAM. If you like streaming media, you'll especially love the sharp Full HD Plus display, plus you get microSD support for downloaded movies to enjoy on the move. We definitely approve of the rugged yet smart finish of the 6000 series aluminium frame, which stays true to the Nokia brand. And at just 5.5 inches, this is one of the most mini mobiles that we've stashed in our shorts recently. And sure, that Zeiss branded 60-megapixel camera has its limitations, but you can shoot some good looking photos and video in decent conditions, while your home movies will boast some impressive spatial audio thanks to Nokia 6.1's dual mics. Huawei P Smart 2019 and Honor 10 Lite. So I've lumped these two smartphones together because they are essentially the same device. Both the Huawei P Smart 2019 and the Honor 10 Lite cost bang on £199, and their specs are pretty much identical. They both have a 6.21-inch Full HD Plus display with a teeny weeny water drop notch up top. They both run on Huawei's Kirin 710 chipset with Huawei's Emotion UI slapped all over Android. This occasionally makes for juddery performance admittedly, although we do like a lot of the bonus features that a MIUI brings. And no worries with battery life either, as you get a 3400 mAh cell which can easily keep you going all day, even with a good bit of gaming and video action. Last but not least, on the back of both blowers you'll find a 13-megapixel camera, complete with a depth sensor for those portrait shots and a bugger load of bonus features to play around with. The video quality isn't great, but we're more than happy with the photos churned out by both of these mobiles. Now I do try and test out and review most of the mobiles that come out in the UK, but of course there's only one of me and there's a lot of goddamn smartphones, so I don't manage to get around all of them all the time. One that I have missed out, unfortunately, is Samsung's Galaxy J6 Plus, which also fits into this sub £200 price bracket. You can get it from loads of retailers and networks, including the likes of Carrefour and Warehouse, and it seems to get pretty good user reviews, so that's always a potential alternative. I can't personally vouch for whether it's actually any good because I haven't even held it in my hand, but there you go. So right there's my roundup of my favourite budget smartphones you can pick up in 2019 for £200 or $200 or under. If I've missed out your own personal favourites, probably haven't got around to reviewing it, definitely let us know in the comments down below. And don't forget to poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest mobile tech. Cheers!